Leg 4 of Major League show jumping takes us to the Canadian capital of Ottawa this week, and this afternoon it's the individual showdown.
Where better than the Canadian capital to bring together the world's top 20 and a host of top combinations that will do battle on the beautiful grass arena at Wesley Clover Park's. Last year's winner, Kent Farrington, is very much going to be looking for back-to-back wins.
Yes, back-to-back wins here, but also he was, of course, the winner of the 5-star Grand Prix in Toronto. However, this is a very different question. It's the first time that the riders have jumped on grass this season, and Kent will be looking to make it consecutive wins if he can.
Floodlights, daylight, doesn't matter to the world's very best. Who will win here at Wesley Clover Park's? Only one way to find out, and that is join us for the Grand Prix. Upcoming, the world's best in action in Canada, and this is Major League. The previous leg in Toronto, and a fantastic lineup under the lights for the world's best doing battle. A fantastic week too for the young talents in Mimi Gotchman to finish on the podium first time into this 5-star Grand Prix. But a long list of talent that was holding hard throughout the way, and the likes of Santiago Lamre certainly giving them plenty to think about. But Ken Farrington on amazing form, and here in Ottawa is going to be looking for back-to-back wins after he claimed the trophy under the lights in Angelstone. Well, out here on the turf, it is a very different setting for what is going to be the big competitions here this week as well. The flag's flying, and it is a beautiful day of competition ahead, and the weather is absolutely spot on for what is coming up for today's RBC Grand Prix. Over $250,000 in the prize fund, and is with blue skies up above that we look forward to what is going to be a terrific Grand Prix. And we're here at the Wesley Clover Park's a wonderful site for sport as a whole, and not just equestrian sport, but also football and much else besides. And we're also going to hear from Erin Ballard, a rundown of what is coming up and who might feature into our upcoming Grand Prix class. Erin, World Championship rider, caught up with Hannah Robson a little earlier on this week to see what she thought about the lineup.
Well, we're here with Erin Ballard, who goes 22nd in today's RBC Grand Prix. Erin, thank you for speaking to us. How are you feeling going into this competition?
I'm feeling pretty great. I've come off of a big run and a big result at Angelstone, riding Gakir today, and I know he thrives in a big field, so I'm very excited.
And so let's talk about Angelstone then, because we have all three of the podium finishers here in this competition. Are they ones you'll be looking out for?
I mean, I think that you're always looking out for Kent. I mean, he's fast. He's riding a different horse tonight in Landon, and specifically there's going to be a few horses jumping in this class today that are gearing up for the Spruce Meadows Masters, and there isn't a better place to do it out on this grass field.
And looking then down the list, tell us who else you're having a bit of an eye on, because it's pretty stacked at the back end of the class today.
Always Ashley, always McLean. Amy goes at the end. She's coming off a clear in the qualifier, and as a teammate I hope that she goes great, also preparing for the Masters, but as a competitor I hope there's a window of opportunity for me to make that podium today.
Something in this as well about the fact that it's the first Major League show jumping Grand Prix on grass this season?
For me, I think that my horse is so experienced. He's jumped everywhere. He's seen everywhere in the world. And what an opportunity to jump on grass before we go to Calgary. I think it has everything that we need to prepare the horses.
Finally then, who's your pick to win?
Gakir.
Of course. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Erin Bellard there giving her thoughts. A terrific qualifier earlier on this week as well, and across the 2 days of qualifying that sets the order for the Grand Prix as well. So we'll go in reverse order of that. And so we're kicking off with Kyle King and Serralino for the USA. We bring in the Traverse City Grand Prix winner before now, Callie Schott and Garrett, and another in the world's top 20 with Daniel Blumen and Ireland. And then down to Canada's Tiffany Foster, of course, Grand Prix winner with Northern Lights in Vancouver, back to May of this year as well. The team from the US, Caroline Mawhinney, is in the field, as is last year's winner, Kent Farrington, and Landon looking for a back-to-back maybe here. Matt Cohn, of course, the Canadian Olympic medalist, has a chance here too. Former Major League Grand Prix winner here too with Conqueleur. And then Santiago Lambre, I think ever present here too with Chaco Blue II after a terrific performance last week, has every chance of again being part of the shake-up here. Now down into the latter part of the qualifying as well, and we'll see Shane Sweetnam with Siouxed coming into their first run into the 5-star Grand Prix. Vanessa Hood and a new ride in Vins. Chloe Reed going really well with crossover 4 as they step up through the ranks as well. Jordan Coyle, who went so fantastically in the qualifier, finishing in second place to his brother Daniel, and then down to Andrew Wells and Idle H&H into the final few. Leaves us just a few more on the tail end, but it's a terrific tail end because it includes several of the world's top 10, and Daniel Coyle, world number 15 with Quinton. Connor Swale, top 10 rider with Kelsey at EBZ, and finally McLean Ward. Great to see him back in the saddle after injury with Cedric 84. Taking a look at the course set by Michel Valancourt, and alongside me is John Garner to take a look at this. John.
Stephen.
Let's take a little walk around it.
Well, it's a heck of a track. Michelle's done a fabulous job all week. So start off nice and gently, 1 to 2, just rolling on 3. I think this is actually a rollback 4 here, and then into the water jump. So the real first test for a lot of them, out over the open water. 6 strides to that. And then 5 strides, that's going to get there relatively quickly to jump number 6. Gallop around, and a bit of a breather, but you've got to be on the clock at this stage. Up over the maple leaf triple bar, and then head on down. 6 strides to the triple combination. Upright, upright, big oxer coming out, 1.60 m wide, that one. And then walking this a little bit earlier with Beezy Madden, we were talking about that line, 7 or 8 strides onto the Liverpool tray. Then right-handed to the very difficult wall, the Major League Show jumping blocks there, number 10. Then left-handed in front of the VIP tent, up over the 1.65 m wide oxer. 4 strides, in and out. And then left-handed as you start the run for home. The Welsh Dragon, symbolic here in Ottawa, and then a patient 6 to this very wide jump, 154 high, 170 wide is that jump number 14.
Well, we're going to see how to tackle it with our first then, and it's going to be Kyle King, and with the ride of Serralino from Lamford, the Holsteiner Gelding. That's a 10-year-old for Kyle, well established as a Grand Prix rider, finished top 5 in the Grand Prix in Vancouver as well last week. He was hopping between Angelstone and Vancouver. Time allowed of 79 seconds, you say. Michel Valancourt, the former Olympic rider for Canada, and now top-class course designer as well, sets the track here. And as I say, delighted alongside me is the man of many of the major Canadian championships and Grand Prix, John Garner, alongside. John, we've seen a terrific week of sport already. Settled in and excited for this one out on the grass.
Absolutely, it's been an absolute pleasure, Stephen, hanging out with you, and of course Hannah. It's my first live experience of Major League Show jumping. I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the team sport yesterday. But we're back under the pressure now. Chatting with Kyle, is an old friend, rode against him way back in the day. But he was saying that it's very much a step up for Serralino. So it will be very interesting to see how he attacks this course. And the 45-second countdown is underway. The man from California is set to go.
Well, really interesting track set for the competition today. As a defending champion is Kent Farrington, won here last year. Now, John, what I'm going to be really interested to see, and he's made a good tight turn early on, is how this time allowed plays out. Because 79, we've seen similar sort of times during the week, but 14 fences on the course this time. There's a little bit more to it.
There's way more to it. I mean, just the added numbers for sure. But then also the sheer scope of the fences. They are very, very big. And what Michelle is not afraid to do is go put the width on them. There's oftentimes you see the height, but sometimes the course designers will just err on the side of caution with the width. Michelle does not do that. Front rail coming down at C. I would think Kyle would have been feeling very confident in the early part of the going.
Yeah.
A little disappointed, especially with that rail coming after the water. So I think they're going to get thinking a little bit on that one. Delicate plank on top of the Mark Motors Oxa. Nice recovery. And making his way to on the floor so far, and he's going to be right on the time. Look at just a hair over. 79.33.
Finishes him with one time full to add, so it's 9 overall, 79.33, as you say, time-wise. We see them over the water there from a little bit earlier on. Flicks a rail there, and having that plank down as well. Again, Michelle's got a little bit different this time with an Oxa with the plank on top, not just a straight vertical coming down that VIP line as well. So there's a few little mixed up questions in there, which is nice to see. And a line like that, you see the Canadian flag down to the triple combination, just a little bit of curve in the line.
Exactly, Stephen. It's not a dead straight run, so you've got that just a little off kilter. Optically, it's a little challenging.
Callie Schott now and the Southern Archers Garant, and for the rider who won actually Traverse City Grand Prix in August of last year as well. It's been a super combination, trains with the Madden team as well, with his 12-year-old by Warrants from St. Louis, Missouri. And Garant has all the capability here. And again, they're going to have gleaned a little from Kyle King's round there with Serralino. Serralino a little less experienced into these 5 stars as well. So we'll see how that time plays out. 2 scratches as well from that initial order in Daniel Blumen and Andrew Wells, by the way, for those following through. So Callie is going to be our next pathfinder here. And as I say, we go in reverse order of their qualifying through the week as well. A little bit of hesitation at the first there.
Yeah. Stayed forward, got in very close. For me, although Kyle is generally a quick rider, I think he was just he was sedate, I would say, with his pace.
Yeah.
I think the time is there. Came around there, just really didn't get the shot she was looking for. Garant staying on the gallop. Callie, I think, really has to hold her body when she gets close to those fences. He'll run through you a little bit with this one. Of course, former rider of the great Beezy Madden. And she was as good as anybody at holding that pace, but then holding the horse off the fences. That was very nicely ridden.
Yeah.
Now. Much different pace.
Full on 160 vertical at the wall then. I say this is the fence that, yeah, you can just see that plank on top there. Then you've got to get going for the 4 down to the next double. And the getting going is the problem part.
Well, exactly. You see that. I mean, she got very protective, I think, of the front of the plank of the Oxa, landed very shallow, made that 4 strides very long. And I felt she was quicker than Kyle, but not so.
Yeah, 81.23, and so it is 4+ some time there as well. And total of 15, in fact, more than the 4 there. 15 the total there for Callie Schott and Garant.
I think that Oxa just set her up coming into the double. She really had to fly down to that in and out, punch the front rail out, and then having the Welsh Dragon to boot.
Well, as you say, big final line. The interesting is the final line is going right towards home.
Yep.
It's a big line to finish off on, but it is going right smack towards the end gate, which has its pluses and its minuses.
It's both of them, absolutely. It'll draw them home for sure. It'll take them there, but it can also get them going a little bit more than you want.
Charlotte Jacobs now, and Charlotte with a really good run last week as well, as we saw. She was clear and 4 into the Grand Prix, finishing in 7th spot with this rider, Rinkula Milchon, the Irish sport horse for the North Star team of Buffalo, New York. And on this 10-year-old by Adeltas, which also, of course, being Irish, has the breeding of cruising in there somewhere too. But a really nice combination that have now moved up another gear. She jumped on some Nations Cups last year. She's been jumping more of the 5 stars this year, and really got well established. But, you know, like the others, has learnt there very swiftly on that first 1 to 2. Do not waste any ground.
If you've learned anything this week from riding Michelle's courses, it's these end arounds. You've got to be so efficient. You can't do anything in the middle of the park, go into the jumps. It doesn't allow you to do that. It's right here. You've got to come off of this fence. So you got a little quick coming out of the water. Flyer there. Got there on the 6, nice. Sit still now, power out. Very good. Balance in 8 strides. So for me there, Stephen, exactly what I was looking at on the line. She did the 8, which is, in theory, the ad, but she ended up on the inside. If you're going to do the 8, you got to
which is the 7.
Yeah, you got to stay out and round. She's kept up a good run. She tries to settle in a little bit here. The Dragon catches another one. She's going to be good on the clock. I think that'll help the course designer in his decision.
Well, it looks like decision made because she's inside okay, 76.96, so it's achievable there at 16. But she's certainly kept on moving, like you say, just came off the water there and they were just travelling down there.
Yeah, you can just see, though, she's right on that inside line, which then to do the ad, it's not going to work out so well.
Well, Mimi Gotchman now going to be really interested to see how she goes here with Selena BH. Had that really good finish just last week under the lights. Very different question this week, but this is the test of when you do a series of mixing it up. You know, out here in the glorious sunshine, on the grass, under the lights, under that cauldron of an arena, instead with the crowd so tight on you. You've got to be able to perform in all of those. And Mimi, the teenage rider with Selena BH, past, of course, junior and young riders gold medalist, but that was one of her best finishes just last week as well, into that kind of company, and she's already showing that kind of form as well. Training with Dara Kenny these days, going to be really interesting to see how she performs here for Mimi. Good luck to her, the 18-year-old. In fact, coming up to 18-year-old, 1st of September.
Still can't buy a beer.
Not yet. But had plenty to celebrate last week. And let's see the same.
See, this is an area you've got to be a bit more aggressive, I think.
Yeah.
On the gallop. Riding for the 6. Balance there. She rode that nicely. And again, get over, get around. Triple bar will draw you in. And then sit really tall here. Little squeeze, encourage out. And she opted for the positive 7. Well done. Rode that very nice, but stayed right on the middle. Oh, she's doing a fantastic job. Looks like she... Oh, no.
She came a little bit on the inside line there.
Absolutely. A hair casual for me. That's too bad because she's ridden an absolute blinder to this time. Last one.
Very good round, and I know it sounds strange to say that with 8, but it was a very good round. 75.51 and 2 down for Mimi Gotchman, Selena BH. Here we see them at the water, but here just cutting in the line, and that's where that plank's sitting there waiting for you on a flat cut. Last line as well, you're just again getting that natural forward motion as we talked about towards the finish. Flicks that away and leaves you with a couple down, but 75.51, so that time allowed is attainable from that point of view. But it's pressuring. It's pressure.
Just got confirmation from the ground jury, though, Stephen. Time allowed has been adjusted up to 81
Ooh, interesting.
seconds.
Interesting.
81 seconds. So, jury and Michelle Vaincourt blinked first.
I'm going to let you say that.
It's always a tricky one. Look, the course designers will tell you is like it's part of the toolbox, which I 100% agree with. And a second here or there can make such a difference. 100% I agree with. But I really think you have to be very careful, and you have to be 100% convinced. Because I also think these riders are good enough, they will adjust.
Yeah.
Right? And we saw the first two struggle with the time allowed, not by a lot, but they struggled. The next two, no problem at all.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to Derek Herons and Lucino before I walk myself down a road.
That's okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll take it all.
Now for Eve Jobs, the stallion that he's performed so well on for the Irishman.
Fight a little bit there. Balance back nicely coming out of the water line. I'm going to harp on it again for just 1 second. You give these guys too much, and they will take you to the absolute cleaners.
Because
they're so good.
It's a stride here, a stride. You know, it's another 2 strides on the course, isn't it? Yeah.
Just easing, posting up there for the 7, stayed on the inside. So he balanced a little bit, but went, go get it. Hard to believe so many people on a day like today can be so quiet. Another one catching that plank. Optically difficult for the horses to see, I think. They see the black and white stripes. They don't always lock in on that solid colour.
Just going to come home, hopefully on 4. Yes, he's going to be over the line at 79.61, so he would have been touched over the previous time. Just leaves him with the 4 this time for Derek Herons, and the best completed score so far with Eve Jobs' Lucino. Eve competing herself here this week as well through the 2-star competitions. And so 4, 8, a 13 from Callie Schott, 16 from Charlotte Jacobs as our completed 5 scores so far. And Alison Robitaille now. Alison Firestone who was won Grand Prix literally all over the globe. Great to see her return to the saddle in recent years as well. And Alison with her own Oakingham Lyra that also has been in very good form too for the American. And here as part of the Teams 2 on Major League on this British bred 10-year-old Rise. Now finished well in the recent Traverse City Grand Prix as well, so good preparation here for that. Been getting nicely into the top 10s. Was 8th place at Angelstone last week as well, so just coming to the right form stage.
And always been a talent. Took a little bit of time off away from the sport. Such a naturally gifted rider and loves to attack. Just too much coming off the water. A little late putting on the brakes there, and Lyra getting underneath the upright. There she propped for her. That's really what she needed for her to do coming off the water jump, but Little mare stayed on the hunt for her. Good recovery. She will not have any difficulty with the time. Never has. Look at that power up over that. And then what she's doing, Stephen, she's allowing her to drift a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she's carrying so much pace, eating into the lines. Oh, she'll be disappointed, I think, with that.
Just going to finish on the 475.46.
Let's just have a look here as she comes on down. Right, she just stays there. She didn't really sit back like she would like her to. Ran out of room.
Always that difficulty of going, if I take a pull at this point, is it going to overreact? Is it going to have more of a reaction than I want? What am I best doing at this point?
Yeah.
Adrian Sterlich and Facuitol S also went very well through the season in Wellington this year for Adrian from the Starlight Farms of Greenwich, Connecticut. Now the Dutch bred gelding as the US team rider. Well plays through the Spruce Meadows series as well now over the last few weeks. Saw her, of course, on previous stages of Major League, including Traverse City a few weeks ago. This 13-year-old by the Superb Verdi, Michael van der Vleuten's Olympic World Championship medal-winning ride. Went on to many Grand Prix and has certainly put his stamp on the next generation now very successfully. Seeing them in their prime.
Nice and easy out over the first one. Michelle's given them a nice jump this time for the first jump.
Yes, those that watched the qualifier, the first fence played all sorts of trouble.
Havoc ensued at
Yes.
fence 1.
So it's down in the water. They should get the. Really looking for a 5 there, aren't
Oh,
you?
for
Yeah.
sure. It's, I mean, okay, if you got really out of control, I suppose you could get there on 4. 6, I really don't think is an
No,
option.
no.
Bad choice. That was beautifully ridden. Really trust the balance. She knows she's got all the power in the world to come out. Eats up the 7 strides there. Now, it's balance and shape. For me, at this stage, I'm thinking, okay, get across and get out. Give myself a chance to get square. Let my horse see this. I don't want a cheap plank there. Good. Looking very good right now, Stephen. Come on.
Time-wise, might still be a little slow.
Keep coming,
Should
keep
just-
coming, keep
should
coming.
just squeak it, but yeah, it's going to be about 80.
Right on it.
80.84.
On the
Yeah, time allowed of 81, and so gives the first clear round there for Adrian Sterlich and Faguitol S. And so number 1 on the board, just close on the step over the water.
The water jump judge having a little bit of a look, but it often, for us, it often looks a lot closer than it really is when you're down there.
Philip Roson judged down on the water today. Tiffany Foster and Northern Lights, and we watched them so fantastically go to that win in Vancouver, to their home 5-star Grand Prix win there at Thunderbird. The 12-year-old by Plot Blue, the Swedish bred rise for Tiffany. Now with a base back home there in Langley, here in Canada, over to the other coast, heading over to British Columbia. For the Pan Am gold medalist for Canada in 2015. 12th individually at the last World Championships as well. Currently ranked 35 in the world.
Become a real mainstay for Ian Miller's Team Canada. He's got a great group right now. We were chatting the other day of really dependable riders, quality horses. Tiffany, all the experience in the world. Oh, she got a little bit off that. But that's where the training comes in.
Yeah, just a little rub at the vertical afterwards, but enough to keep him over it.
Now regroup, get that balance, get the tempo back. Just add in that. Again, when you know your horses so well, like Tiffany does, you have your plan. Little efficient through there. And this is a place, again, I think you just want to be mindful of. Don't be too greedy into that oxa. Now steady. Now get across. That was really well ridden there. Stayed on the hunt. Ooh, a little bit of a checkup. She got it. No,
oh
yes.
She has just got it. 80.71, and inside that time of 81 now, it is 2-3 with Tiffany Foster and Northern Lights. So Adrian Sterlich showed them with confidence there. Got high over the water, as you say, and then she just, you know, that's when, as you say, the skill's got to come. There's got to be a little bit of improvising at that point. We might not quite be in the spot we've got to be, but we've got to make sure we're on the right spot for the next one.
Exactly, yeah, and you have to have a, you know, the old Ted Lasso. Got to have a memory of a goldfish. Done, it's behind you, move on.
I think he stole that from somewhere else as well.
Well,
but
I
love
don't
that
care,
series.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give him full credit.
Caroline Mawhinney now of the US, another of the teenagers as part of the lineup here for the USA, and being a big step up year for her as well, and this is giving her a great opportunity as well. Originally from California, based down in Florida, part of the Eye Candy team, was actually part of their winning team in Vancouver this year as well. Team gold medalist last year as part of the juniors, that's the under 18s, and unfortunately Cabana Coast goes down to start off with.
I mean, just rolled right through that. You know, I think there's different ways to approach fence one, but I think when it's a standalone oxer like that, that really doesn't impact the next fence, I think you really want to be aggressive at it. Let the horse know we're in the game. And then you got a little casual around to the orange vertical off the turn.
Tied up to the vertical, just holding at the 8 now, giving herself some space back here. That big wall, and again, just being careful not to cut the line too much down to this Mark Motors oxer.
He jumped that one very well, didn't he?
Yeah. Schragen, no trouble, and just the last, going to be a little bit of time to add in here.
Just a tick on, right?
Oh, actually just inside, there we go, 80.98. And so finishing on the 8 there for Caroline Mawhinney. Going to be a little bit frustrated at the first fence. That one, you know, again in the same category, well, unfortunately. That definitely had that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I think, you know, okay, you can flip a coin, I guess, at the first, but didn't hold the line, stayed a little bit on a curve there, and I think Dance really didn't set his eyes on it well enough.
And flipping it round for what she's doing right now, as you know, 17, 18 years of age, she's doing brilliantly.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a good stage.
Yeah, very good stage there, and you can see the stage today. It is beautifully marked out with the stripes, and Kent Farrington was the #1 man here last year, world number 8 as he is. And Kent, based down in Wellington, Florida, of course, originally from Chicago direction, with Landon with the gelding by Comme il faut plus, coming in off that Grand Prix win last week as well. With some of the other riders, we might be talking about how that gives you confidence. For Kent, it's an expectation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, the line of if you're not winning, you're learning. He's not a big fan of learning. He likes to win.
He likes to win.
And but I think that, you know, that puts you in the that upper echelon of high performance athletes. The mold of Steph Curry. You know, he doesn't expect to miss a shot. He's more surprised when he does. And I think Kent is the same. I mean, you just mentioned he's the number 8 ranked athlete in the world, number 3 ranked combination. That's horse rider combination.
The thing is, when you watch him, it's the control he has, and that's out of training.
Yes, it's
you know,
all
that's
training.
all the stuff you don't see here.
No, it's all the work's done before. It's did not see that coming. Come off the water. Landon just stayed on the gallop, and as he asked him to come off the ground, lost his shape. He's not going to be happy with that. Now I think you'll see him pick up the pace a little bit, looking to be a fast 4-faulter.
Yeah. Because Alison Robitaille currently the fastest, sitting in 3rd place. Okay, very early stages, but still chance of some money in here as well.
I think we're going to get a few clear rounds up.
Just going to be 4 faults in the end. Probably a frustrating 4 faults for Kent and Landon. 77.47. And so time-wise, would actually put them a little behind Alison Robitaille. Here's the fence down.
Yeah, you just see his right front leg draped a little bit. As he came off the ground there, he didn't really spring like he ordinarily does.
Another of the US riders who's been impressing over the last 12 months or so is Natalie Dean, part of the same team on Major League as Ken Farrington, and actually was part of their team win here last year as well. Won the winning round on the Major League Tour just a few weeks ago in Traverse City. Jumped superbly through Nations Cups recently too. Was Shadora Lady for the rider from Palo Alto, California. There by Chaco Blue, who hasn't had so much exposure into these 5 stars. And for the 10-year-old by Chaco Blue, this is just the right stage for these two as well. Really exciting combination. Of course, she's got a Kota M. She's got a really great string around her as well. Looking forward to seeing a lot more of this horse over the next 12 months too, and how they perform today. That was tidy.
Yeah. Well, walking the course with coach Elan Ferda and teammate Erin Ballard.
Oh, and that was sort of coming in the turn, wasn't it?
It was. She, I mean, completely betwixt and between. She had an idea of what she wanted to do, but then Chadora Lady, I think, really got into the turn a little bit quicker than she anticipated.
Covers down to the water.
Well, I was going to say is they, part of their strategy would have been early on, like let's make these first 2 turns efficient, so that we can be a bit more patient that last third of the course.
And what this pair need now is exactly what they're doing now, is just keep getting the mileage
for sure.
in a Grand Prix like this. It's not a case of, okay, put your hand up and stop. It's like we need this mileage.
Yeah. Nice regroup, nice recovery.
Yeah, gets them home with a little bit of time as well, as you'd expect with a circle there. It's 12 at 84.28. Look back.
Yeah, she saw something a bit more aggressive out of the turn. The little mare didn't see it at all. You have to be on the same page.
And again, like I say, they've not been together a huge amount of time. That comes with the anticipation, the work together as well. But that all goes into the mileage book. So 12 it is there for Natalie Dean and Shadora Lady. So clears so far. We see Adrian Sternlicht and Tiffany Foster. Ali Ramsey now, the Canadian next with Bonita from Victoria, British Columbia. Bide was steep for Ali. And Ali has also been producing some pretty solid stuff on the Major League Series in the last few weeks as well. And also down with a nice win in Lexington. Been finishing well on the Northern Lights team that were on the podium at Angelstone last week as well. Didn't quite follow that up this week, but that's the swings and roundabouts of sport.
That's right, peanuts and shells.
Well, Alex, you can explain that one to me later. I think I get you.
Sometimes you get a peanut, sometimes you get a shell.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
You've more difficulty explaining swings and roundabouts to
well, I know.
To the people these days.
I know.
What's a roundabout? All right. Oh, good old pony kick, but not enough. And just mowed that one down.
There was no way they were going to get the balance back. It was going to be very lucky if they did.
Yeah, let's jump the orange and grey fence nicely, but I think also got a little bit out on the right side of a line. So if you're going off of a count, a number of strides, it's only relative to where you are in the line. You get 3 feet outside, which I think she did at least. All of a sudden, your 6 strides is going to become 7. And you've got to respond to that. Or you've got to tug and pull and get back in shape again. Good time.
Yeah, it is 76.84, but it is going to be a total of 8 there. I'm afraid it's going to be blue feet as a result of that. Here we go. And, of course, the fence following as well. Just so hard to get get going and get back there, and then you're strung out.
Yeah, well,
you're not in the shape.
Just quickly saw she lost her right pedal as well.
Yeah.
That makes it that much more difficult.
Holding at the 2 clears so far with Adrian Sterlings and Tiffany Foster. Grant Sager now, and Grant with Frida, the mare by Baludo Roe, based down in Aiken, South Carolina these days. Originally from Texas for the US rider, now become again another established part of the Major League Series. He was on to teams last year for Team USA as well, into the closing stages of the Nations Cup Series, back to Spain last year and Portugal, as those were in the final throes of 2022. And for him, has also had a good year this year, finishing well with the team. He actually rode for the win in Vancouver, finished second in the end, and for him also going well in the winning round in the last few weeks too in Traverse City. So Frida, well-established partner of him on this 11-year-old.
Really nice fellow, works really hard at his craft. Got to know him a little bit in the winter circuit down in Ocala, the World Equestrian Center. Puts a lot of work into it. That was very well done.
Ooh.
Frida getting a little bit feisty, but that to me is where he says, okay, I mean, I know what I've got to do here. She may have overreacted, but he backed it up with his leg. Said, come on, girl, keep going. Just a little bit too much there. Those horses that bounce up on you like that, they can be a little bit disconcerting at times.
Well, exactly, and again, you're back to the same point. You see some of the riders, if it's something that's expected, you can start to ride that, and again, you've got there, but you're having to then almost auto-correct at that point, which is an added problem to it, which you really need to try and smooth out as much as you can. 76.64 on 4. A quick round will put them into 4th place there for Grant Sager.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, she just ran through that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I might be having words with her when I'm on my hack back to the barn. Say, hey, come on, lady. That's your job.
Jessica Mendoza knows her job, and she's here with Play for the rider, British rider based down in Wellington, Florida now, on the 11-year-old Swedish bred ride for the championship rider previously for the British squad as well. And, well, she's been already a string of wins. She's a very tough competitor too, placed throughout the Spruce Meadows series, and also part of the winning team in Vancouver back to May of this year as well, but has certainly notched up quite a few top 10s since then as well.
Quite the artist too, isn't she?
She's a very good artist,
like,
very good artist.
I've seen a lot of her stuff. A good eye for it.
Yeah, you can. I think she's got a website for that. You can head to
yes,
too.
In
the meantime, let's see her equine artistry for the afternoon. Nice tidy run to the Mounties vertical.
Well, we'll see as the round develops. For me, she's just a little sedate.
Yeah.
But the water jump early will get you moving forward. Now she's
And that's
back under.
You see one or two that are a little bit, if you like, careful through those first few fences. Then from here on in, you're either trying to take a stride out, put a bit more pace on it.
She's opted in for the extra step, the 8. Got by with it, stayed on the inside track too. But she stayed out far enough, early enough, you know. That was nicely done. That was very nicely out of rhythm. Oh, just stayed too much forward. Probably overjumped that oxer or jumped the black oxer too well.
Got to leave her inside the time, but on the 4, 8.50, so time would have been okay in the end. Not too much trouble at the water, but this is where...
She jumped that so well.
Yeah.
And then just as she asked it to come back, didn't quite respond.
And again, that's the thing. You know, you jump a fence well, and you go, that's fantastic. Yeah, but you're coming into a related line like that that's really tight, and it's, well, actually, it's put me 2 feet off where I wanted to be, or even 6 inches.
Yeah, so let's
Makes
go
a big
under
difference.
jump that meter 65 oxygen.
Exactly, yeah, which is not going to happen. You know that, but that's the explanation.
Yes.
At the end of the day, this is really hard to do.
It's really hard to
You
do.
know.
So I like to explain it as a game of chess played at 35 miles an hour.
Well, I was about to say, you know, I've gone down a similar line and say, okay, go and drive your car at 35 miles an hour. Put a you know, a set of cones out there, and don't have any of them down. By the way,
Yeah.
that's not even trying to jump a fence. That's just trying to hold your line.
Yeah.
Matt Cohn, conqueror, a man who's been able to hold his line for quite some time now from King City, Ontario, for the Canadian Olympic medalist. And this is a horse that is definitely not short of scope. But he's just going to there tidy, and he needs
Super
that
efficient,
because
and that's
to make the time.
Exactly, and that's where the understanding of your partner, what your game plan is. Having to ride up there. Now balance. There's your training at work. Came balanced through the turn, really had to open up for the water, but then Conqueror right back between hand and leg. Holding back, oh,
Yeah.
that was too bad. So holding with his back seat and leg to balance him up. And then he just didn't quite round up enough over that upright. 2 rails in there. They come thick and fast. Well, that one stayed up, but that one didn't. So one stayed up, and then just got a little bit tight through the back.
Takes them home on the 12-fold, 80.30, and 3 down this time for Matt Cohn. And Conqueror as it comes close to the halfway stage. Big over the first, as we said. And then here is where they just got in trouble.
Yeah. A little bit more space there, maybe. Have to ask Mac about that.
Now Nasser coming into view. And now with the Evergate Stables, Dorado, the Riverland, the French-bred gelding by Untouchable. And plenty of big wins for Niall, including this year winning the Queen Elizabeth II Cup at Spruce Meadows, alongside his $1 million wins. He's won in Europe as well. And another one that's been returning to the saddle in recent weeks after injury this year. And had a good tidy start to the year down in Wellington, Florida. And now back very much in the groove. Niall is one who's well experienced now at riding those times. And again, for riders like this that hit this level, they're used to also crossing the Atlantic, riding a lot of the European shows as well. And just that's what's expected.
I was actually chatting with, we just saw it, Matt Cohn and Jerry Mullins during the course walk a lot earlier this morning, and having that exact conversation. I mean, Jerry was saying that, you know, Connor Swell probably in a year jumps as many courses as Jerry probably did in a 5-year period back in his day, and that might even be a little generous.
Just that last part of the combination coming down for Niall.
These guys are on it all the time. Up and over the wall. Plank as well.
That's what it's there for, though.
Yeah. He's again, Michel Vaillancourt. He's got everything in play.
And Durano's one he hasn't used too much into the big Grand Prix as well. So this is one that gets a step up here as well. It's on the 8, 79.30. 2 down for Niall, and Dorado Riverland here. Again, it's just sitting there, the plank hanging on those flat cups, waiting for you. They're just the slightest movement either way, and that's going to come down. And 2 down for Niall this time. Still on the 2 clears with Adrian Stonelicks and Tiffany Foster. Santiago Lamare and Chaco Blue the second. We mentioned him in the run-up, in the run-down, if you like, from last week as well, from that very good Grand Prix. Finished second there at Angelstone, and he had a really good run last week, so comes here hopefully continue. You want to keep that form around you. You desperately want to hang on to that run. But this 16-year-old Chaco Blue the second, you'll be amazed to know, is by Chaco Blue.
Shocking.
Shocking, which is one of the top stallions around, and has certainly carried on a few traits from father as well. But he also picked up the individual qualifier win last week at Angelstone 2 with Chattanooga. So I say, you just want to, when you get in that really good groove, you just want to hold on to that somehow.
And this horse has it all. He's got the scope, he's careful, he's brave, he's got the step. The challenge often comes. He gets a little bit exuberant at times, sometimes with the tighter lines. Santi can sometimes get in a little bit of trouble with him.
Steps across the water.
Frankly, just laid on that. 2 verticals down. I mean, you just wouldn't expect that with this horse. And Santi going up. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, no, decides to retire there for Santiago Lambre and Chaco Blue the second. Like I say, you want that form to carry through, but it doesn't quite through. I'm afraid today is a very different day, as it always is in sports. Highs and lows, and unfortunately the lows comes with 2 down in the same line there for Santiago. So we're at the halfway stage. We've got 2 clears at the moment with Adrian Sterling and Tiffany Foster, as we're going to take a little breather. I think Hannah's going to catch up with one of them as well, and we're going to hear from them right down on the floor. But already 2 clears into this RBC Grand Prix here in Ottawa. Exciting stuff ahead.
Well, I'm here with one of the only 2 clears in this competition so far, Adrian Sternlicht. Adrian, congratulations. Talk us through that round a bit.
I know my horse pretty well at this point. I got him at the beginning of the year, and he's such a reliable partner. And we were just in Calgary for at the beginning of the summer, and so I felt like I learned a lot about him there, and I was able to take what I learned and use it today.
And so is this a ring that you feel suits the horse? What's the plan for the jump off?
At this point, there's nothing to lose. There's only 2 horses in the jump off so far. My horse has a massive step. He's probably not the quickest horse, but he's really careful and he tries really hard, so I'll try to use his stride to my advantage.
And we've got an incredible lineup of riders and horses in this competition today. Does that add some pressure for you?
I think especially with this horse, because he's so big, and I always have to make a plan for him that's really not contingent upon what any other rider combinations are doing. So I'll just go out and try to do my best again and do justice to my horse. He jumped so well.
Well, thanks so much and best of luck for the jump off.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it. There's a lot to take in there. Adrian jumping really well, and it's all about knowing your horse as well as possible in these competitions as well. Just 2 have jumped clear so far, but we're at the halfway point in round 1. We're looking for more clears to get these competitors through to the jump off. It's all to play for.
Certainly is, and it is proving not so easy there, and it is part of RBC Day here in Ottawa, and a Grand Prix that's certainly giving them plenty to think about so far as part of the afternoon. Some wonderful shots there of the mown grass here in this beautiful arena here in Ottawa as well. Mark Motors there supplying the Defenders, the Range Rovers, the list of cars that have also adorned the site here as well. And there with our teams in order of where they were sitting at the start of this week as well in the team championship. But the flag's flying. They are flying again today. A little bit of breeze around. It is, again, a good bit of blue sky, but a scattering of those cotton-filled clouds up there as well. And we're going to hand over to our next with Ashley Vogel. Ashley with Therese Van Het Moershoff for the American. Again, gaining more experience into the 5 stars now, went very successfully through the U25s, also completed her studies in the last 12 months as well, and trains with the Sweetenham team on this French-bred mare by Garner Seaton. Reminder, John Garner alongside me. John, it's been interesting so far, 2 clears coming out the pack. We saw a time change as well. They went from 79 to 81. Yep. Little bit of discussion over that, but it's produced the 2 clears at this stage.
Yeah, it really has, and I mean, I have to say, I thought by now we'd have a couple more with just some of the riders that have taken on this course, but it just goes to show you you cannot take anything for granted, and I think handicap in this sport is a mug's game, frankly.
Picking the forms, because again, some of the form book has gone out the window, but I mean, your form book changes with literally something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you're very much, I think, you know, 1 to 2 have been sort of get in, get over, and get around. Haven't caused too many problems, but that's the first time we've seen fence 2 coming down. And you know, to the point of, with that, I think at this stage, the only fence that has not caused a rail so far is the maple leaf triple bar and the major league wall. Everything else has hit the ground at least one time. Ooh, that was a hefty rub, wasn't it?
Little bounce, it stays there.
But good for Ashley, you know, an early rail. She stayed composed.
Yeah.
She's got through some of the difficult parts of the course now. Right, a real test here. Oh, she did that extremely well. Really composed through the turn, trusted the scope of her horse and the balance. Well, I think she's got to be proud of that.
Yeah.
Be desperately disappointed, likely, with number 2. She just got a hair close to it.
But again, you know, as we talked about a few times, you're trying to just get a nice, efficient turn into that first couple to take the pressure off a little bit later on, and just got a little too efficient with it. Leaves her on the 4 faults there for Richie Maloney. Richie Maloney coming up with Cocoa Beach, 4 there for Ashley Vogel. So there you see Richie interview, and Richie, who's a long time again been based in the US. Winner in July in Tryon. American Gold Cup winner previously in a list of big Grand Prix right the way through to 5-star level. Nations Cup rider for Ireland before now too. And sit here with Cocoa Beach, the mare by Casal. Little look around. I'd like to say that Adrian and Tiffany have given the key of what to do, but it's not much of an unlocking so far.
No, it's I would say to follow that line, it's okay being given the key. You got to know how to use it. These locks are going to still take a little bit of jiggling. I think the other thing when you get a course like this, Stephen, is you know, you have to stick with your own plan. You can't get you know, caught into what other people have done. You know, it really has sort of ridden, in many ways, how I thought it would, how I thought it walked. There's no real trick to it in that regard. It's just putting all the pieces together. You know, if you get one that gets a little bit, you know, just gonna say, you get one that's a little bit funky at the water, like Cocoa Beach got there. For Richie, he had to override it, and then they get unbalanced coming out. At this level of this sport, it's excellence all the time.
Yeah.
There is no room for error. You get off a little bit. I think he'll be a bit disappointed when he comes out of this, because that'll be a jump that he won't have expected to have down. Right on the time, and the last one too.
Yeah, last one drops. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. He was a little steady in the final stages, and so leaving them on a total of 9. They're 81.33, so 1 for time there on top of the 2 down, as you say. 1 after the water. Final fence again, just bringing you home towards the in-gate there. 81.33 for Richie Maloney and Cocoa Beach. Puts them a little further down the order into 14th place. 2 clears at this point. So just around the 30 mark in the first round, just over. Alison Robitaille, the best of 4 falters at the moment, sitting in 3rd. Grant Sager at this point picking up money in 4th place, and Ken Farrington top 5. They're across the arena here at the Wesley Clover Parks, as I say, multi-sport facility that's fabulously supported through the foundations and through the state, and the lots of activities here. It's been great to see all week. Everyone from the kids starting out. They've had summer camp here as well this week. It's not very often you get that in the middle of a 5-star show as well, but that's been great for them. They've been meeting the riders. They've been, you know, seeing the best sport right up close and personal, which is a wonderful way of bringing the two together.
Absolutely.
Simon McCarthy now. And Simon with Athletics Heroes Z, a regular on the series last year as well. Some fabulous performances with Gotcha too. And Simon with Athletics Hero that again got more exposure into the 5 stars last year for the Irishman. Just starting to get back into these big 5 stars in the last few weeks, just settling. Okay. We're ready to go. There we go. Again, all the time they've been many watching the rounds that have gone so far, adding a little bit of calculation into their initial thoughts. So we'll be unwavering in their plan. Some will add a few little bits into it.
You know, I really think, you know, sort of at this stage on a track like this,
another one drops in a different direction.
And I think you have to be so committed to your plan.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that has changed, or that, you know, really should change, is the fact that you got an extra 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe there's a spot that you're thinking you had to be a bit more aggressive at, that maybe now you can take your time on. But it hasn't helped them. Athletics is staying a little bit strong for Simon. Getting past the distances. It's better. Just kept his toes low.
Yeah. Simon going to raise his hand and retire at that point. Not their day today for Athletics Heroes Z. And Simon McCarthy, unfortunately.
Yeah, see that fence number 3. He just stayed going forward. Never came off that front rail at all.
And a good local round of applause for Erin Ballard of Tottenham, Ontario. And our fellows, the Esperanza imports at Gakia, her World Championship ride on the Spartacus side stallion. Now, Erin, who's been one of Canada's leading riders for quite some time now, and she's been well up in the world rankings. World Championship rider last year again. Finished 5th in the Angelstone Grand Prix last week as well.
Yeah, I caught the back end of the broadcast from Angelstone last week. Watched the jump off, and it's great to see Erin and Gakia giving it a go. I mean, I keep saying about all these top riders how hard they work at this. I don't think there's anybody works harder than Erin Ballard, Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was very casual from the big chestnut. It's bizarre how many horses, like, it's almost like you have that orange one down, the coming out the water is coming down as well.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
And the interesting thing is you're seeing them come down the line in terms of riders. They're not like they're coming down and they're fighting to make the distance.
No, they just, I mean, you know, it's like Michelle's given them the opportunity to jump the water. So almost, you know, you got a balance.
Yeah.
But it allowed you to get there. You know, you wonder if you bring that upright in 2 more feet, whether they'll, you know, really have to work hard, and then consequently jump it a little better. But I think he did him a favor. And the last one as well.
Yeah, bit of a turnaround from last week. I'm afraid in the wrong direction. I'm afraid it is 12 this time at 78.99. Just made a little bit move across that first vertical, but this second one comes smack on at you. And the last fence as well, added for Erin Ballard for a total of 12. Chloe Reid and crossover 4. Now, this is a horse that's been getting more of a step up in the last few weeks for the rider from Ocala, Florida. And really exciting one as well. Finished for time faults a couple of times so far, including last week at Angelstone, but again has been getting that experience. Jumped a terrific round there on this 10-year-old by Cascadello for Chloe. And going to be interested to see here this week if they just, you know, have the confidence to move that up another little half gear.
Well, just watching her this week, she seems to, you know, be full of confidence and has been way more positive, I would say. Had a really good win down at the World Equestrian Centre just a few weeks ago.
And you can see what an efficient line they run to 1 and 2, and you'd walk that and you go, well, I've got a field to play in here, and it's like, well, that's the catch.
That's the test. Exactly. Can you find that line? Boy, that was some effort, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Flying down there.
Really tidy down there. Just,
I mean, she's already, for me, she's already got time in the bank. Come on, you got to ride now. There we go. Now be patient. Be just a hair patient. Swing through the turn. The wall will back her off anyway. Perfect. Now get out. Get square. Give crossover a chance to see that blank. Easy, Chloe. Easy, easy. Now, she's got all the time in the world here, Stephen. Doesn't need to run at it.
No, just the last fence.
Be patient.
Got
a girl.
Atta
girl.
77.23 and a very good round to give us the third clear. Chloe Reid definitely in there with a plan with crossover 4. Knew there was going to be time pressure there. Whoa.
Look at that water jump.
A little bit quick down that line there, but she'd got it absolutely spot on. And after that last, just airborne over the finish. They'd got the confidence there. Like you say, they'd banked some time early on as well. She had a really good run, 1 to 2 early on, getting some of that back, some of that breathing space. And there down that final line, just had the space to go, okay, we can
take a breath now. Yeah. Take a breath. Superb.
Third clear, well deserved for Chloe Reid and crossover 4. Tiffany Foster with Northern Light, Adrian Sterlich and Facuitol S as the clears so far. Alessandra Volpi from Woodside, California. Grassy de Pachy with a Belgian bred rider, gelding by Tinker's Boy. And also for Alex, she's been competing over in Europe for the last few weeks and months as well, into Nations Cup for the US. Again, that's given her a very good grounding out on some of those big grass rings as well. A little bit wider there.
Yeah. Big stepper this one though.
Yeah. And again, knowing your horse, where you want to use it, where you want to play with the time.
So far, so good. She's up a little. She's moving forward, which is good. Trust now. Little squeeze. Follow the back.
Oh,
she got in tight there. Just landed in a little bit of a heap there. Ooh, got by with it. I thought that might catch her out, but Gracio is digging deep. Okay, Alessandra, you've got time. Easy, easy.
Yep.
Balance. Oh, another one.
There we go.
Fantastic.
79.90 and gives us the fourth clear there. Alex Volpi and Grassi de Bachy produces a terrific round. It's been a really good season for experience for her. And, ooh, there, just a little touch. But, you know, that happens with everybody. Alex Volpi joins the list. It's an all-lady list so far. Alex Volpi, Chloe Reed, Tiffany Foster, and Adrian Sterlich. This is getting a little help from McLean Ward this week. Usually Max Amaya, he's not with us this week, so McLean has stepped in. And he also trains Vanessa Hood with Vins. The horse actually McLean rode to win in the Challenge Cups down in Florida earlier on this year, formerly owned by Nick Skelton.
This one, 4.
It's the new ride for the Take Two LLC and Vanessa. And this 10-year-old gelding and looked, again, very quickly as a partnership earlier on this week. Right. So they've done the right preparation back at home too in terms of building as a partnership. Just get out there and get some mileage back there at home too.
Well, and Max or McLean, they're not gonna send Vanessa in here on a whim. Vanessa is a very good rider in her own right. Again, a little bit like we were talking with Alison Robitaille earlier. Took a bit of a break, but he's back at it.
An absolutely fascinating career in between, but we don't have quite time for that. We'll tell you about that one day. Just a little touch there, but for the former World Cup finalist.
Balance. A little bit short. That's the quality that you need. Bounced right in, took care of the upright, and then trusted the horse to come out. Oh, the wall.
That's gone. The brick's gone.
Just pushed at it a little bit. Oh, now B and C, or A and B, excuse me. I think of that line as a triple.
It feels like it.
Just with A is forced right away.
So it's a total of 12.78.60, and again, one of the biggest classes that as a pairing have jumped together. So again, we're going to take some highlights out of that as well for Vanessa Hood and Vins this time. And again, once you start to get momentum down that line, as you say, from the Mark Motors Oxa, it can just carry you down there.
It really does. I mean, once you're committed to your shot in, you're on the runway. There's no getting off of it.
Dara Kearney now with Hamra Van Het Exelhof Z. Just a 9-year-old by Harley VDL, but for those that were watching last week as well at Angelstone, will have seen them finish very well there indeed, and up there into the money, and also in Traverse City, finishing top 3 there as well. Wins in Calgary, Spruce Meadows too this season. Again, top class rider in the saddle, current world number 26. 3 of the world's top 10 here this week, 5 of the top 20.
Career changing when you can get into that top 30.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference to your options of competition. That is absolutely spectacular. That's a fireplace jump for me. Take a picture of that and get it framed.
I was going to let you explain that.
That was lovely. That's where the training really comes in. The hard work, the dressage, the flat work. See again there, moved up. You know, you talk about having the same stride length. For Dara there, coming off of the triple bar. Oh my goodness. He'll be a bit chafed on that one. But again, to me, again, a little bit on the inside track. Hammer just not finishing off. The only time he hasn't finished behind. I mean, that was technically an excellent round.
Yeah. Just going to leave them on the floor, though, for Hamra and Derek Kenny, and again into 8th place, but again, shouldn't be too hard on themselves. They've been coming into this level now. It's a 9-year-old horse. Not much of a flick there at all.
No. I think just maybe even Dara just thinking about the turn slightly, and didn't quite finish behind.
Lily Keenan comes into view with Grand Prix, the horse that she rode at the World Championships last year as well. And Lily with the horse from the Chazenet Farm of New York. Grand Prix winner in Spruce Meadows this season. Monterey last year as well on this very good 13-year-old. And again with a superb string of horses around her. Gant hasn't had as much of an outing in the last few months as well. So again, being kept for this here in the last few weeks too.
Such a nice position to be in, right? When you, as a rider, you can keep going, but you can really rest your horses, allow them to stay fresh. A little different type than the two stallions she rides. She got here this week. Work quite hard there coming off of the water. She's away over that triple bar. Box him up. Fire on out. Be patient here, Lily. Good. Saying it, you've got to get out and around to this, give yours a chance to see it. Plenty of step here. Well, no problem with the 4. All the time in the world.
Looks good.
Just let him jump it. Oh, yeah. What a ride. What a ride.
Yeah, no trouble at all. Lily Keenan as round with Aganda Billiard to give us the 5th clear round so far of this RBC Grand Prix this afternoon. Really nicely through, just a little toe on the way out of that double, but the last fence as well, looking great stuff too. So she adds her name to the all-lady list so far. Lily Keenan, Alex Volpe, Chloe Reed, Tiffany Foster, and Adrian Sternick. Shane Sweetnam looking to break that pattern now.
Yeah, come on, boys.
With Siox said. Again, a step up for this for the 9-year-old by Comme Il Faut. Sweetnam, of course, well established at the top flight as well. And another of those that we see this week amongst the top group in the world. Shane Sweetnam currently world number 7. Again, he's been back across to some of the major shows in Europe as well in recent weeks, but based in the US. We've seen a few of his pupils already around too. For the American Gold Cup winning rider. So giving this horse a shot now into the 5-star Grand Prix. And this is a good step up 5-star Grand Prix for them to come into with this 9-year-old.
Yes. Yeah, this is a proper course. All the experience in the world, Shane. Really well executed. Got a little bit of a curve coming in out over fence 4, right onto the water, didn't break stride. Super. Whoa, back end coming out over that Liverpool. Almost pushed Shane right out the saddle. Shape him around, give him a second. Got a little flat there, Stephen, coming in, but he's okay.
Looks good, and again, time to play with, should be all right.
Well, yeah, time's not a problem.
Really nice looking pairing for the 9-year-old. And this decent track this afternoon, and so Shane Sweetnam puts the boy's name into the list as well with Siokzed, super looking 9-year-old, and Shane is just really building a superb set of horses around him. Okay, James Can Cruz in the centre there, but with Out of the Blue, with that, with a few others as well, he is really getting some firepower around him. So, clear round number 6 coming from Shane Sweetnam. Sean Jobin and Darius for the Foxridge Farms for literally engaged this week rider. Who says you haven't got time at a horse show? Congratulations to them.
That's a pretty quick question, in fairness. It's either yes or
Yes
no,
or
isn't
no.
it? I mean,
Well, it was a yes.
Is there a lot of debate
that was,
at this stage?
Well, you never know. You never know. But it was a yes anyway, which was good.
Congratulations to the two of them. They're a lovely couple.
So Sean and Darius been in, I say, solid jumping form the last few weeks. Number of clears out for the Canadian.
This is an interesting one for me, Darius. He is a quirky little horse, but Sean really can get a song out of him. And when he is on form, he's as good as anybody. Tries really hard. Oh boy, good ride. This will come up quick. That's where he works hard for him. He digs himself out of that distance. Little tap on the wall.
Oops, settle.
Yeah. That's Darius right there, where he just gets a little bit funky on you. You can lose your tempo. But he's fine. Easy, Sean. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it! Too aggressive. He didn't need to do that, Steve. He could have stayed out and around.
Yeah. Easy to say on the sidelines, but unfortunately it is going to be 4 at 76.48 for Sean Jobin and Darius into 8th place. Little look to this line.
He had so much time in the bank. I'll be desperately disappointed with that.
Frustration for Sean Jobin and Darius so close, goes into 8th place so far, and don't think it makes it any better that it's a quick 4 from that point of view. But it is into the money at the moment, but could have been into that lineup, but unfortunately gets a bite from the Welsh Dragon. And in the meantime, Jordan Coyle, top 2 in our qualifier for the Grand Prix earlier on this week, was battling with Daniel Coyle from that point of view. So the two brothers, and horse that came into his rides of this year, it's the Falkirk Farms For Gold by For Fashion. And again, very different ride to the one we saw earlier on this week in the Grand Prix qualifier with RBC.
Yeah. This is a lovely horse. I mean, okay, they're all lovely horses, let's be frank. I mean, you're jumping at this level.
But you know, again, comparing to RBC, bigger horse, different type, small, compact, whoop, anchors him down.
Yeah. You see that, Pat, there? That is absolutely fantastic. Took a moment to go, thanks, buddy. I kind of left you out hanging there. Thanks for working so hard for me. He's skipping around right now. Come on, Jordan. Oh, he's got his ride in there. Nice. Dig him out. You're okay. You're okay. He's staying on the hunt.
Oh, no.
Oh, another one. Stephen.
Down deep in the Welsh Valleys, I'm afraid. And final 2 fences down. It is going to be 8 there. 81 seconds thereabouts for Jordan Coyle. And going well up until that last line.
Oh.
But, and again, got themselves out of trouble there, but were deep into it at the Dragon.
It's just, okay, I mean, easy for me up here. He knows his horse better, but I'd love to have seen him just take a breather coming out of there. He didn't need to go take that distance.
Again, hindsight is the perfect round.
Yes.
Daniel Coyle. Oh, what a surprise. There we go, his brother. But it isn't a surprise because, as I say, they come through in qualifying based on the classes earlier on in the week. So based on that Grand Prix qualifier, based on the individual class. So the fact the two of them went very well in those, in fact, Daniel was our winner, means they're going to be into these final few here. So Daniel Coyle now with the Canadian-owned Ariel Grange's Quintin. Of course, he went on to win earlier on this week for the world number 15. European and World Championship rider for Ireland on this 13-year-old. Horse that he had before, went for a little while to Hyde Moffat within the same stable, back into Daniel's care now, and again swiftly they picked up where they left off.
Such a gifted rider. Yeah, I have to say, Stephen, on a personal note, I've become a technically way more proficient rider than I ever was when I rode.
Like we say, it's much easier watching from here, and we've used a couple of examples, but it's so hard to put over.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And we can put cameras on riders, we can do all sorts of things to just how hard this sport is. It will still never give you that feeling.
No, in the moment, right? What are you doing in the moment? Super job. Textbook so far. Here we go. See the difference here, just a little bit more patience. Allow the fence to come to him. Got all of it done.
Time-wise is okay as well, and he knew that, 78.69. He got that breathing space into the final group there, and so giving us, 7 clears now. Daniel Coyle and Quintin will add to the list. You say just came round, just got the patience in the final line. He'd made the ground up early on, knew he'd got some breathing space there, said wait, and now we can take our time, if you like, down that final line. We're going to do it how I want to do it. And there's a little, it's not a completely straight line as well from those last two either.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And again, that's one of Michel's things that he does there. He just puts the slight little arcs here and there.
Yeah. And you'll see that from a number of the top course designers now. That's the thing. And again, you're putting that pressure on, aren't you? It's not just I'm going to drop here, drop on a rail, and go.
No, and
okay.
You have to, Steve, because they're too good.
Yeah.
These guys are too good. The horses are too good. The training is too good. Everything, and there's only so much you can do with the jumps. In my chat with Jerry Mullins earlier, we were talking about some of the courses in the early Olympics, like Rome and Mexico. Even Montreal, they were absolute houses, like houses.
Yeah.
1.60 m high, 2 meters wide. Oxes, you put those out there, I mean, it's just, the sport is just so different. But the
it was different material, it was all different.
Completely. And the horses are so different.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they are such athletes these days. And the riders themselves, they take care of themselves better. They have to. It's a 12-month of the year grind. It's never ending. You're on a 4-year Olympic cycle all the time.
And speaking of which, we've got 2 of the top 10 in our final 4 as well. This is one of them, and world number 10 Conasuela and Alexis Sokolov's Kelsey at EBZ, which is a horse that, I mean, he's been training Alexis. He's now picking up the ride here. The horse has gone superbly for her. She's decided that Connor's going to ride this for however long, we'll see, but it is really good partnership. He really got tight around that corner.
But just see, he comes around the turn, sets the horse up, and just lets them go and have it, set it up, so quiet in front of the jump.
But again, going back to what you were saying, old material, new material, you can see how easily that drops away.
So delicate. You don't have to be off by a lot. Nice recovery to finish, but rail down.
Yeah, just on for it, 76.32, and it is going to be a pairing that continue over the water, continue to build. Oxerat, that line comes down for Conasuelo and the 10-year-old Kelsey at EBZ, but it is going to be a really smart-looking combination as they build through the year. Ashley Bond and the well-established Donatello. Actually originally from Hidden Hills, California. They stand in Florida now as well. Donatello was the horse he actually rode at the Olympic Games for an individual 11th place there on this 12-year-old. Now, one thing these two don't have trouble with is time. They're fast-moving, forward-going. It's the way they go in the first place. And they have picked off Grand Prix all over from Florida down to Mexico.
And for Ashley, Donnie is basically your favorite pair of slippers. You know, you walk into the barn and you bring him out. You know exactly what you're going to get. Everything feels comfortable. You know where to put him, and you know you're going to get maximum effort. Part of the squad that just recently secured Israel's Olympic qualification. Means so much to her in that team. Right, you just see there, right? I mean, she barely picked up the reins coming through the triple bar corner. You know, it's just so good to watch a combination who are so in tune with one another. Completely opposite what we were just saying about Connor. He's learning Calcia.
Yeah.
These two know each other inside out and back to front.
Yeah, they get on the dance floor, they know where the feet are going.
Absolutely. No one's standing on each other's toes.
And as I say, speed-wise, you don't have to worry. They're out in 75 seconds. And they're clear. And the big thing is they are a big danger down there because they'll be late to go in that jump off.
Yes, they are.
They're 8th to the lineup so far. We've still got Amy Miller and McLean Ward to come. But they are going to be a big danger down towards the end. And that's one many are going to have the eye on. So let's see. Donatello books the place. Amy Miller is here now for the Canadian Olympian with Truman from Perth, Ontario. Millebrook and Overland's French-bred ride by Milord Cartago, again 14 years of age now, similarly to that of Ashley Bond. Been together quite a while. They've sat by the fireplace a few times.
Yes, they have.
They know each other very well.
Exactly. This would be exactly the same feeling for Amy. You know what you're going to get from him. They've been on the biggest stages, but there'll be an extra sense here trying to do it on home turf. Such a lengthy relationship between Millebrook, the Miller family, and the shows here in Ottawa at Wesley Clover. Exactly where to put him. Always a good effort from Truman. Fantastic jump out rope, triple bar. Now getting back. And this is where the trust comes in. Easy, no problems. A little bit over his front end there, but left it up. That's better. This place will go absolutely bananas. Stephen, if she can leave these last two up.
Take a deep breath.
Time is no problem. Come on, Amy.
Gets there, and it's going to be 9 to the clears, 77-1, Amy Miller. And Truman books her place. She's gone on a real run here at the Wesley Clover Parks the last few weeks. #1 against her name on so many of those big classes. And now right into the 5-star. And that's a good one for the home crowd. We've got the Canadian in the mix as well. So she, alongside Tiffany Foster, will be flying the Maple Leaf this afternoon. And flying the Stars and Stripes will be McLean Ward and Cedric 84. Great to see him back in the saddle after a collarbone injury. Took a fall a little while ago. And this first week back in the seat in competition. And really interesting pairing this, because it's Cedric 84 and this is the former ride of Peter Leone that we've seen a number of times through Major League Jumping. And McLean just taking over the ride. This is their first FEI show together.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
There we go. That's what I'm here for. And the 11-year-old by Christian 25. So going to be really interested to see this pair. But they went really nicely earlier on this week, didn't they?
No, I mean, that's why I guess I'm surprised. They look very comfortable. But again, you put a quality horse with, we'll call him a quality rider, shall
yes.
we? I mean,
that's underdoing it, but yes.
Underdoing it. But you have a horse that's also been developed by a guy like Peter Leone. That's, oh my goodness me. I was going to say I's would be dotted, T's would be crossed, but that completely caught me by surprise, as I'm sure it did McLean. That is absolutely incredible. Maybe a little casual from them both, just float around there. And
well, and again, the discussion that we were having a little bit earlier on of, you know, the well-established, you know, long-term partnerships. There's still always going to be that little bit of, if I push this button, what's the response?
Right.
I know what I think the response is.
well, certainly what it should be.
Yeah. Certainly responding now.
Yeah, and you use the term push the button. Sometimes you do something, the button hasn't been actually installed in that spot.
But this is great for this pair. Okay, they've had that stop, but now we're just getting a really nice round out of them. Say it was a good round earlier on this week as well.
Well, foot perfect so far
Yeah.
after that.
Which I say is going to lead to a little bit of mixed emotion in the.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. I mean, you know, obviously that McLean feeling that it was necessary to continue.
And look how they went off.
Yeah, just see it. You know, maybe you got a hair a little bit to the outside. Horse wasn't quite. Sometimes if you get that close enough to the wings, the horses can sometimes just doubt whether there's even enough room to get off the ground there. But anyway.
It wraps up round one of this RBC Grand Prix here from Ottawa. 9 of them booked into the jump off, a very exciting 9 as well. We're going to see Adrian Sterlich, Tiffany Foster, Chloe Reed, Alessandra Volpi, Alex to be followed by Lily Keenan, Shane Sweetnam, Daniel Coyle, Ashley Bond, and finally Amy Miller is in the prime spot in pole position in that jump off as well.
What a competition we have had here this afternoon already. 9 riders going through to the jump off, and of course they come here from those 36 starters originally. We had 4 of the world's top 10 riders, 6 of the world's top 20, but we've whittled it down to 9 for the jump off. So let's take a look at the list then. Adrian Sternlicht was the first rider to go through, and she'll be first into the ring in the jump off. Tiffany Foster will follow, and then Chloe Reed comes in next. It will then be the turn of Alessandra Volpi, then Lily Keenan, and then 2 Irishmen come next, Shane Sweetnam and Daniel Coyle. Ashley Bond, always one to watch in a jump-off, will be the penultimate rider through, and then home crowd favourite Amy Miller will be the final rider to tackle the jump-off for Canada. It's all about speed. Well, we caught up with a young rider earlier on who's been having a great run of success. We chatted to Mimi Gotchman.
Yes, I mean, my horse jumped amazing. First of all, of course, Cosmos is incredible. He's about a year with him now. I've had him, and he's incredible. I mean, he's going to be one of the best horses I think I ever sit on. He's definitely has so much potential to jump at such a high level, and I'm super excited about him. He is got a lot of personality. He knows he's good, and he knows he's beautiful and all the things. He's a sassy stallion, but he's actually really well behaved, so I can appreciate that. But I was super excited. I made a plan with my trainer, and I tried to follow it as to the T as I could, and I think it really paid off. Last week I tried to go a bit, I mean, wasn't anywhere near Kent, but I tried my best to go as quick as I could, and I'm kind of trying to learn how to go a bit faster at a higher level. Like, I've done a lot of fast jump offs at 140, 145, but jumping 150 or 160, trying to go that fast is a lot different, and I think it's something I have to learn the technique, but I'm trying to get more consistent. I like to say I felt pretty confident. I try not to second guess myself too much, because at this level that's kind of not going to help you in the ring. It's not a good idea to do, and I tried to go in really confident, stick to the plan. I knew my horse was feeling incredible, was going to try his hardest, so I was just trying to focus on myself. I knew that there were obviously amazing riders coming in before me, coming in after me, and I tried to just focus on doing what I was told and the plan that I was told to do. But I also thought the atmosphere was amazing, which always helps. The crowd was into it, everyone was into it under the lights. I think the atmosphere definitely helps pump yourself up a bit. So I was having a lot of fun. It's incredible for me. I mean, I'm so lucky to be able to jump at this level with these kind of riders surrounded in my life. Like, it's honestly the best thing ever. I'm having a great time and I'm learning a lot. So I think if I can continue to do it, that would be amazing. It's definitely an educational experience as well as fun. I mean, you get to watch amazing riders all day long, get to hear what their plans are, get to see what they do in the warm-up or what they do in the ring and how they execute things, and you're surrounded by their grooms back in the stalls, and you can kind of get tidbits from everyone, and my guys are learning from everyone else, and they have their own skills. So I think all around the whole series is incredible, because I get to learn a lot, but I also get to put that learning into practice in the show ring, which a lot of the time you get to see these riders perform and jump, and then sometimes you won't even get into these big shows. So it's very nice that I'm able to get into these shows, learn a lot, and then try to put it into the ring when I'm competing myself. I never would have thought I'd be jumping consistently in the 5-star division and consistently doing somewhat well in the placings and stuff. I'm definitely going beyond what I'd planned, and I'm very lucky that I have the team and the horses behind me, and I'm very lucky that my trainer has the faith in me, and that my team has that faith in me, and that my horses have that faith in me.
RBC Day here in Ottawa at the Wesley Clover Parks. We're going to see some spectacular shots of that in just a few moments' time, but a thanks to them, our presenting sponsor of today's exciting Ottawa Grand Prix.
Yeah, we are really proud of this venue. It's pretty big. It's 474 acres, so we do a lot here. As you can see behind me, equestrian is at its heart and always has been. It was originally built as an equestrian park, and we keep that, like I say, close to our hearts all the way through. But we've got trails, we've got mountain bike trails, we've got soccer fields, we've got cross-country ski trails, we've got a campground, and we're an events venue for all sorts of other things too, other than equestrian. I think we're quite lucky. We've got this amazing venue, and we've got this awesome, like I said, the Grass Grand Prix field. It's the real jewel of the whole venue for equestrian. But I think what we're really lucky about is being nestled right in the nation's capital. Our venue is literally 11 minutes from downtown. So I think that really is a great thing for the riders, and it's certainly close for all our spectators too. Yeah, I think the juxtaposition of having the learn to ride part of the equestrian sport, like the kind of the base of the pyramid, getting more people into the sport, teaching them about horses. We have the camps at the very basic level. We have a lot of adults that learn to ride, but really a learn to ride program, and that's the Ian Miller School of Horsemanship. And I think that ties in nicely. Obviously, Ian Miller was at the pinnacle of the sport, and behind me you can see our beautiful grass Grand Prix field, which I personally believe is world class, and I hope the riders will say so this week. I think it's so important what Kian and Matt are doing. People need to see the best of the best, and then that pulls them into our sport, and it's really important. I'm chair of the jumping committee for Equestrian Canada. It's really important to me to grow the sport, and so I can see when I'm running a riding school that the base of the pyramid is so important, but those people that are learning the sport and care about the sport need to see the best of the sport to be inspired.
And those are the stops, and we are going on a whistle-stop tour of the jump-off. John Garner alongside me. John, where are we going?
Fence 3 first there, Stephen, the premier equestrian oxer, and then swing round left-handed to the vertical at fence 4. It was a little problematic in the first round, so now they're going to be even tighter. Then we go a long gallop all the way across the field to a brand new obstacle, fence number 16, the natural colored oxer. It's a very pretty jump. Then they're going to come around right-handed to fence 17. So this is the Canada triple bar that's now made into a vertical. From there, back around left-handed. This is a long loop and turn through to 8BC. So the previous last two elements of the combination, the triple combination, then around to the right, back over the MLSJ wall. So you're going to come around, all the way around, and this is where you got to really be galloping, and then handbrake turn. Going to be a lot closer to fence number 2, I can tell you that. We might even have to have a look. Maybe there's even a turn to go inside there. Well, let's have a look as the riders go. And then after 10, the long run home to 12A. What was the first piece of the last combination, and there's your finish line. So 3, 4, 16, 17, 8BC, 10, and 12A.
Taking us on a tour of this fabulous grass arena here at the Wesley Clover Parks. And this is the lineup for those coming up into the jump-off. Adrian Sternlich starts us off with Facuitol S, Tiffany Foster, the Vancouver winner with Northern Lights. Chloe Reed with Crossover 4. Alex Wolfi and Gracio de Pachy, Lily Keenan, Arganda Belliard, Shane Sweetnam and Siok said. Daniel Coyle, of course, our qualifier winner with Quinton. And then two fast ones to finish off with 2 with Ashley Bond and Donatello 141 and Amy Miller and Truman as the last. So the Canadian looking to wave the flag down to the final stage. Will they be raising the maple leaf at the end of the day with the red and white? We will see. They've got 2 shots at it. Ireland with a spin, Israel with a spin, USA also a shot at the Grand Prix this afternoon, this RBC $225,000 Grand Prix class. Thanks to RBC, again, our presenting sponsor here this week as part of the week at Wesley Clover Parks. As I say, a venue with something for everyone. You saw some of the football fields down there. It is all about sport at all levels here, and that's the great thing to see. It's a wonderful foundation and training ground, and thanks to the whole family that have been involved, and many volunteers this week as well, from Sir Terry Matthews to to Karen Sparks, but also the volunteers and all of those behind the scenes that have made it a terrific week here. And this is a culmination for them, and lovely to see so many riders that earlier on this week we saw literally in classes and training where they were learning to just sit in the saddle, to be out here watching and enjoying. So let's sit back and enjoy with Adrian Sternitz and Facundo S and the 13-year-old by Verdi to start us off into this jump off. John, it's not about holding anything back now.
It really isn't, and anybody that's listened to me yammer on these things before, they'll know my feeling on the role of the lead-off rider. You've got to go clear. That's the first thing you have to do. Then what you do is you don't have to go blazing quick. You don't have to kill the whole competition, but you would then want to make the riders following you just feel uncomfortable enough that they go and then make a mistake. So nice roll out to fence one here. Good ride. Used his stride. Now the long gallop. This is going to be a big advantage for Adrian with this big fella. Swing round left-handed. This is now an upright, as we mentioned. It was a triple bar, but now an upright. And then a long gallop across. Just count the strides there. Into the combination. Oh, desperately unlucky. Sweeping turn. Back around now to the wall. You're having a look at that. There's no room inside to make the inside turn there. So you're just going to go real fast and then run on down to the last one. Well, not really what she was looking for, Adrienne. 8 faults.
Yeah, 8 faults at 46-14, and so 2 down for the American that starts them off. And as you say, just trying to set the pace for them. But it isn't quite enough, and 2 down for the opening salvo fired here. And Tiffany Foster, Northern Lights, looking to emulate that success from her first 5-star Grand Prix win from a few weeks ago. Can Tiffany Foster start to get even further on the carriages of that train with this 12-year-old by Plot Blue? First of the 2 Canadians into the jump-off.
Tiffany will be quick enough. Just taking a little glance, just a little reminder from Northern Light. You come around here, expect to see that, don't get surprised.
All right, got the plan. Off we go.
A little unbalanced there, right out of the gate. But out and around. Tiffany, I was going to say, he's thinking clear around.
Yeah, went for a good slice there, and it just got too tight in the end.
Down comes another one, yeah.
Well, and again, this is how it can play out as well. You think early on you're going to put the pressure on, and then little mistakes creep in, and you get further down the order, and people start going, okay, clear will put me in a good slot.
Exactly, yeah.
But we're only 2 deep so far.
She did 12 strides coming over.
Yeah.
I think there's an easy 10, frankly, but that's more about Tiffany keeping the fences up and giving Northern Light just a comfortable feel around after that second fence coming down for sure.
Well, there leaves them on the 8 faults, 2 down. Tiffany Foster, Chloe Rees, and crossover 4. As we saw from Angelstone, jumped a lovely round there in the Grand Prix. Just went for time there, didn't get to this point. And again, this is another step forward with this 10-year-old for Chloe from Ocala, Florida.
Well, if I'm giving some last-minute advice to Chloe, it's like
she won't hear it now.
She won't now, and she shouldn't listen. Really, I mean, let's be fair.
Carry on and give it. Carry on and give it.
She's a quick rider anyway. Crossover is a quick horse anyway. Don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it.
They can get there on their natural ability.
Just normal.
Yeah.
Ride normal, and you will be fine. Lots of air over fence 3. Good there. Good. That's what I'm talking about. She was efficient across. She didn't have to go blazing quick. She didn't try and leave like 3 strides out.
And just respected that Oxer enough to say, I'm not going to run at you.
And again there, like Tiffany came through there on 8. Chloe opted in for the ad, but she's left the jumps up so far, and she knows she's quicker through here anyway. The horse is quick. Easy 10. Oh. There we go.
Clear it is. Really good round from Chloe Reid once again, 46.71. Now, yes, there's probably some breathing space in terms of time to really chase, but she has put what is sensibly 2 really good rounds in there. Like you say, they've got a natural pace about them. Use it, stay what you feel comfortable within those parameters. And that speed is going to come naturally.
Yeah, for sure. But now the numbers game, what I mean by that is now the strides start to come in. So we talked about the option of the 8 or the 9 going into the combination. Chloe comfortably made 10 strides without really flying to the last. So if you got a big stepper, a reasonable stepper, there's a 9 there coming home if you need to go get it. She was a little wide to the fence 17, the Canada vertical. But she's got the clear round. Now the rest of them have to go get that. That was a, well, I would call that a professional ride, Steve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well judged. Alex Volpe and the rider from Woodside, California's Grossi de Bachy on this Belgian horse by Tinker's Boy. She's been getting some really good experience over in Europe this year as well, and has proved herself strongly there, and gets another shot here, and she can use that confidence here too. Gets a tighter shot to the vertical.
Wow, and faster through the first fence. Using his big stride, but now she got caught out. Yep.
And exactly back to the strategy.
That was good.
So another one on the 2 down. Chloe Reid looking better.
A little bit of a slip there. Yeah, I think she, her right to the wall got her swinging out to the right, so she didn't get the line that she was really looking for. Just maybe a touch of inexperience catching up there with Alessandra.
Yeah, leaves her with 3 down, 45.04, so Chloe Reid ahead on crossover 4 now. They start to get more of the pairings that have got more mileage together as well. This is where we've got a little bit of a mix in this Grand Prix. We've got Shane Sweetenham coming with a 9-year-old that hasn't seen this level before. We've got Ashley Bond with Donatello that's done it right the way through to Olympic Games. We've got a World Championship combination here with Lily Keenan, the Chasnet Farms Garda Belliard. So it's a full shake-up of the gambit here of who is going for the top. Chloe Reid has set them a good target, 46.71. Just points towards something the arena team are dealing with.
Just that rail. That just gives Lily a moment to refine. She'll have already got her plan. The customary "Let's go, buddy." You know, we talked about in the first round about how you really don't change your plan, or you probably shouldn't. The preparation for a jump off, coming into the jump off, is all about changing your plan as things develop in front of you. Oh, she landed already on the left. Very efficient through the first 2 jumps. Just allowing Argon there to stretch on up. That was smooth.
Yeah.
Easy there, just loped on down. Now she can open him up, but sit up here through the turn. On the grass, you have to keep your horse leg to hand. There we go. Excellent. She can really just open him up now. She's fine. She's got it.
Very good. It's 45.17 and nearly 2 seconds quicker there for Lily Keenan and Argando Belliard. and so not unexpectedly takes the lead with a really solid combination there. I say they've been not jumped too much so far this season. They were a strong out in Wellington the early part of the year, then to California where they were on a winning Nations Cup team. A little bit of a breather through Spruce Meadows, and now back into action here into nearly September for Lily, but now well back into action with a possible win here in the #1 spot at the moment on 45.17. But he's not done yet. 4 left to come, and Shane Sweetnam with Siokset.
What I loved about that, though, Steve, for Lily is I always believe that smooth is fast, and Lily was very smooth around there. She didn't have to run Argan off his feet. But now she has put the pressure on.
Well, number 7 on a 9-year-old here that Chris Pratt's been riding and producing. First time he's taken this into big competition. That came from Belgium. Oh, really good slice at the vertical. Get a good shot of that there. You can see how much they're going across that on an angle.
Yep.
Now he gets a little bit wider. Lily was so efficient back to that Canada fence.
And that's knowing where to take your risk and where you think you can be quicker. A little bit wide there. Oh, he proper mucked that out, didn't he? He was looking for a far more aggressive shot out of the turn.
Time, though, look at it.
Yeah.
44.56. It was quicker than Lily Keenan, but it is unfortunately the wall down for Shane Sweetnam. You have to say, for a first shot, went for a run down there. I'll let you finish that one off first.
Well, he was just looking to try and get there, and then Shioks never really came off his leg like he wanted to and explode that last stride. He just sort of stayed there on the normal count.
And again, saying get a little bit of mixed emotion there with the 9-year-old by Comil Faux. First big Grand Prix they've come into together with Shane Sweetnam. Finishes on just that 4 faults at 44.56. Lily Keenan leads with Argan de Belliard, but already, as Shane has shown, it is a beatable time. And now you've got some serious opposition coming with Daniel Coyle. We've got Ashley Bond and Amy Miller now for the world number 15, with Quinton, winner of that Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week as well.
Well, this will give us a real idea. Not to think there's anybody quicker than Daniel Coyle when he is going. Solid to 1, just hair patient to 2, but nice line. Easy 9 across there. This is where he should be very efficient. Yeah, that's the call. Oh my goodness!
No. Tried to get tight to it. It did not come off. And coming up to it, probably looked okay.
It looked, I think so. But then, too, is that when you get those real knife-in lines, especially when you're trying to come back around almost on a full circle, the horse can sometimes drift a little bit to the right. So again, that distance that you're seeing and that you're feeling, the horse is on a different one. And if you're out of sync by a couple of feet on the line, it changes everything. Quinton not feeling comfortable with that. Good recovery. So important when you get an incident like that with any horse at any level. Just present them back, give them their confidence. We're, it's all about the rebuild. So that the next time you put them in that position, they're thinking positively.
Yeah, finishes on a positive note, and it is going to be 8 though at 55.47. 8 there for Daniel Coyle and Quinton, and one of Lily Keenan's big challenges goes out, and as you say, when you actually see it up close there, they're right up to the face of that fence.
Right on the side, and but that just goes to show you, Stephen, what we were saying right off the top. Put a clear round in.
Yeah.
And then get the riders to get uncomfortable. Put them in a place that they're not comfortable being.
Chloe Reid still sitting in second place at the moment. Shane Sweetnam in third. Ashley Bond now is very comfortable at speed. Ashley with Donatello 141 again. Back to the pairs that have been there and done it. We saw from the first round how swiftly they go around there. They can do this exactly as you were saying about with Chloe Reid a little bit earlier on. This is another half shift up from that point of view. They can do this in their own natural pace.
Exactly.
Oh, and it's
would
gone.
you believe it? Would you believe it? If I was handicapping this, she would have been right there or thereabouts. Did not anticipate that.
Again, she's going to be thinking about a fast. It was going back to say 4, but that's not going to happen now either. Some surprises coming out of it, and a little of what you were saying earlier, get the clear in, because we've got 2 clears, 2 double clears.
The sport of show jumping.
And from Amy Miller's point of view, who goes last, get a clear in the bag, and the worst, she's going to be thinking about the #1 spot, but the worst you are going to be is on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, you tell a Miller to take it easy in a jump off.
I'm not. But I'm just stating stats, not facts.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Lily Keenan leads. Aganda Belliard clear on 45.17. Chloe Reid in second on crossover. Shane Sweetnam in third on the 4 faults. Amy Miller, Truman, would bring the house down if she can do this. A ring she knows by every blade of grass.
Well, and she'll be probably a...
No.
I don't think she needed to do that. I don't think she needed to be that aggressive through that corner, and just like that, Lily Keenan.
Lily Keenan adds another Major League Grand Prix. Oh, well, that is a shame.
He had some of that, didn't he? Broke it in half.
That's a shame, because that is not the rounds that we see out of them normally. So it is going to be Lily Keenan in #1 spot. Chloe Reid, really good performance, to say, following on from that super round. She jumped at Angelstone last week as well with just the time faults there. She stepped it up a gear again with crossover to finish in second. Shane Sweetnam in third. I say sadly disappointing for Amy Miller. She was coming around that first to the vertical, just turning away from it to get back, and it just suddenly looked really tight. We'll see it in the replay, but hopefully. But
I mean, I understand, I guess, a little bit like the second one, because you're trying to be quick, you know, with the 4. But realistically, you're not catching Shane Sweetnam probably anyway. I'm perplexed about the turn to the second jump, where she just didn't need to be that aggressive, and you know, build as you go. But there we go, nice recovery there. I mean, you know, Truman's got all the experience in the world. He won't carry a grudge on that.
Gonna hack home with the 8, and maybe just a little bit of time as well. 56.44, just 9 there. Amy Miller and Truman not finishing quite how we hoped would happen, but yeah, down go the anchors there, and that was the last. But it was the first vertical that was the problem there, and in the end would see them into 8th place. So it's a win for Lily Keenan, and Aganda Belliard, the World Championship ride, returns and is right to the top here for the RBC Grand Prix here in Canada. Second spot going to Chloe Reid, and crossover 4. Superb performance, well-planned performance from her as well at 46.71, just a fraction behind on time. Shane Sweetnam and Siox, really interested to see that 9-year-old finishing into 3rd place on the 4 faults. Ashley Bond and a few others in there. We expected big things, but they just were dropping rails in that jump off. 8 faults there for Ashley, same for Adrian Sternlicht, same for Tiffany Foster, same for Daniel Coyle, and then Amy Miller basically the same, but with 1 time fault to finish on there. So it shook it up in a big way. John, thank you very much. We're going to take a look at the winning round in a second, but awesome. It's been a big weekend here in Ottawa. But let's take a look at the winning round of Lily Keenan and Aganda Belliard on how they got this done. And in the end, as you said, get the clears in, get it done. Here we go.
Absolutely measured to perfection. You can see even coming to the first fence, she wasn't lightning quick, but kept up the pace, This is what I expected from Amy Miller. Just a little patience through there, and then she allowed the big gelding to go stretch out. But there was never a moment of being rushed. Jumped that nicely, took a little bit of time here, and I'm sure other riders were thinking, okay, I can be much quicker there. But she rode it really well, beautifully with the 8 stride. That's where she really trusted him. That was all her homework being done here. But I want you to see here, see how tall she sits, allows the horse to bite into the grass, and then from here, she is home, hosed and dried. She did not do anything overly aggressive, knew exactly what she had to do.
Absolutely
Perfect.
superb performance from Lily Keenan, and she's going to be down with Hannah as our winning rider. We're going to hear what she says.
Well, yes, I'm here with Lily Keenan. Lily, huge congratulations. Tell us how you're feeling and how pleased you must be with the horse.
Yeah, I'm absolutely elated. This is a horse that I've had now for about a year and a half, and I've never won a Grand Prix with him. He has jumped countless Nations Cup clear rounds for the U.S., and I really used him as my team horse really up until now. So I didn't always give him a moment to shine. I've always known that he is a winner and such a special, special horse, so it's nice to give him his moment.
Tell us more about him. You were saying he's an amazing character.
Yeah, he is such a funny horse, incredibly kind. He's really a unicorn. That sounds funny, but he looks like a princess horse in every single way, and that's his attitude. He just tries every single day. He's all about just business when he comes to the ring, but at home he's like the horse that every little girl dreams of having.
And when you looked at the lineup here today, you know, we've got a lot of the world's top riders, yourself included. Did you think that you could win today?
I'd like to say that I come to every class with it in my mind to win. I always want to win, but for sure, I am not necessarily the fastest rider when you look at the field, at least from my results thus far, and I'm really trying to change that. I'm right now top 30 in the world, and it's definitely in the back of my mind. I'd like to be able to stay within that range. To be just around these riders at this level, I have unbelievable horses that make that possible, so I expect a lot of myself, and today I didn't get in my horse's way.
This is your second Major League Show Jumping 5-star Grand Prix win. Where can we expect to see you next?
So I actually will go straight to the Hampton Classic next week, and then I do Gold Cup. That's the next stop on the Major League. I've really won, the first 5-star Grand Prix that I ever won was in Monterey last year, so the Major League has been a really pivotal point in my career. And then I won the 5-star in Spruce Meadows with one of my other horses, and now with Argon. So I've had 3 different 5-star wins in the past 12 months with 3 different horses, so I'm a very, very lucky girl.
Huge congratulations. We can't wait to see you in action again.
Thank you so much.
Not just luck, but
Thanks,
plenty
to
of
Lily
talent.
Keenan. She'll be getting ready for the prize giving now. What a competition.
Well, thank you, Hannah. And as we say, super day for Lily here at Ottawa. John Garner, thank you very much for joining me.
Stephen, the pleasure was mine. It's been great hanging out with you these last few days, and I will see you in Greenwich.
We will be in Greenwich. We will be in Greenwich. You will be wearing a different hat on that occasion, and we look forward to that. And that is all coming up on the next few stops of the Major League Jumping. Of course, as Lily said there, the next stage is the fabulous American Gold Cup as well. Looking forward to that, and I'll be back in the hot seat for that one. And congratulations to Lily Keenan, who is our winner here in Ottawa, and that presentation is coming up for her. We'll see you the next stop in Traverse City.